Praveen, can you hear me, Puta? Yes or no? Can you hear me? මම ඇහෙනව නේද? අපි එහෙනම් මේ I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Yes or no? You can text in the text box if you can't talk. Still I can't hear you. මම ඇහෙනව නේද පුතා? ඇහෙනවද නැද්ද? කාටද කියන්න ඇහෙනවද නැද්ද කියලා?
ඇහෙනවා මැඩම්.
ඇහෙනවනේ හරි. අපි චුට්ටක් කරලා යමුද අනිත් කට්ටියත් එනකන්? තව විනාඩි 2ක් විතර ඉඳලා පටන් ගමුකෝ. හරිද?
ඕකේ මැඩම්.
තාම දෙන්නයි ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ මමත් එක්ක 3 දෙනයි. Maybe because Saturday is Sunday, they want to get ready for the tomorrow. No problem. We'll wait until others to join for 2 minutes. If not, we will start in another 2 minutes. Project management, process and integration. Project management එකේ process එකයි අපි අද ඉගෙන ගන්න මොකද්ද? Project management එකේ process එකයි project management integration කියන වැඩ කටයුතු ටික තමයි අපි අද ඉගෙන ගන්න යන්නේ. Let's see project management, process and integration. What do you mean by these? Right? So I will share my slide with you until others to join. Right. Please read this one. Project management, integrate process and integration management. We will wait another 1 minute. After that, we can start the session. Okay. හරි. අපි දැන් එහෙනම් පටන් ගමු. පටන් ගමු කියලා කියන අපි කලින් පටන් ගත්තේ නැත්තේ ඇයි දන්නවද? We were waiting until others to join. I hope now everyone is here so we can start the session. Right? Okay. Now, if we go back to the here, you can understand what? What you can understand? Project is what? මොකක්ද මේ project එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ? What do you mean by project? Project means a temporary endeavor to produce unique product or service. Right? Or the results. తాවකාලිකව අපි කරන දෙයක්. ඒකෙන් මොකද හම්බෙන්නේ? ඒකෙන් අපිට හම්බ වෙනවා unique product එකක් හදන්න නැත්නම් service එකක් හදන්න. මේකෙදි අපිට තවත් කියන්න පුළුවන් project එකක තියෙනවා මොනවාද? Define starting and end date එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ නිශ්චිත පටන් ගන්න දවසක් තියෙනවා නිශ්චිත අවසාන වෙන දවසක් තියෙනවා project එකක. නිශ්චිත පටන් ගන්න දවසක් මෙන්ම නිශ්චිත අවසාන දවසක් කියන දෙකම තියෙනවා. Right? Now here, if we go to the projects, you can identify project management process groups. දැන් මේ projects manage කරන්න අපිට මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? Process groups තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ project manage කරන්න එක එක steps තියෙනවා. මොනවද steps තියෙන්නේ? අපි එදත් කතා කරා we had a initiation stage. Initiation stage means what? In this stage, we are going to design whether we will start our project as a new project or the next stage of the existing project. අපි අපේ project එක පටන් ගන්නවා අලුත් project එකක් විදියට පටන් ගන්නවද? එහෙම නැත්නම් දැනට තියෙන project එක ඊළඟ stage එක විදියට පටන් ගන්නවද කියන එක. Right? One is initiation, other one is what? Other one is initiation. We have to think about two things. Number one, whether we will start our project as a new fresh project or else as a second stage of the existing project. දැනට තියෙන project එකක දෙවන stage එක විදියට පටන් අරගෙන යනවාද කියන එක තමයි අපි සාකච්ඡා කරන්නේ. Right? Next one. Next stage is what? Next stage is planning. What do you mean by planning? Planning means we are going to identify how to plan the project activities. Right? පළවෙනි එක ලියාගන්න පුතා. Initiation. අපි ඒ stage එක ලියාගන්න. දෙවෙනි එක මොකද්ද? දෙවෙනි එක කියන්නේ planning. Planning stage, we are going to identify, we are going to plan for what? We are going to plan for the resources. අපි මොනවද plan කරන්නේ? අපි resources plan කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මොනවද? අපිට තියෙන්නේ මොන වගේ resources ද කියන එක අපි plan කරන්න ඕනේ. අපි ඒක කියනවා resources planning කියලා. හරිද? ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට ඕන වෙන්නේ human resource එක මොන වගේද? අපේ technology එක මොන වගේද? ඊට පස්සේ අපිට තියෙන financial resources එක මොන වගේද? ඒ අන්න ඒ වගේ අපි මොනවද plan කරන්න ඕනේ? අපේ resources ටික හරියට plan කරන්න ඕනේ. Right? එතකොට අපි මේ resources plan කරන්න. When we are going to plan the resources, right? We have to identify what is the project and the nature of the process. What is the project? Our nature of the project and also size of the project. All those things we have to plan. What is our project? Nature of the project and size of the project. එතන අපි planning stage එකේදී අපි plan කරනවා මොනවද? අපේ resources plan කරනවා. ඊට අමතරව time. when to start this project and when to complete this project. Time also we are going to plan, right? Then the communication. To whom to communication? What information? We call that as a communication. Communication also we are going to plan here. Next one, we are going to plan here the record information. මොන වගේ information ද අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ කියන එක අපි plan කරනවා. ඊට පස්සේ අපි plan කරනවා budgets. Budgets means what? How much needed to complete this project. We call that as a budgets. Budgets also we are going to planning in these projects. Right? Planning කියලා කියන්නේ අපේ project එකට අවශ්‍ය සියලුම දේවල් අපි plan කරන්න ඕනේ. මේ අවස්ථාවේදී අපි ඒක කියනවා project planning කියලා. හරිද? මම හිතනවා ඔයගලන්ට පැහැදිලි ඇති කියලා. Next one is what? Execution. ඔන්න අපි project එක first stage එකේදී we are going to decide whether we will start as a new project as an initiation stage. දැන් මෙතන කාටද සිංහල තේරෙන්නේ නැති කවුරු හරි ඉන්නවද? Anyone can't understand සිංහල පුතා? Any of you? මොකද මට සමහර ක්ලාස් වල ආවා සිංහලෙන් කියලා දෙන්න කියලා. මම ඒකයි සමහරක් වෙලාවට සිංහලුත් explain කරන්නේ. Anyone can't understand සිංහල? Can you raise your voice පුතා? කාට හරි සිංහල තේරෙන්නේ නැති කවුරු හරි ඉන්නවද? ඉන්නවනම් පොඩ්ඩක්
I think Assam couldn't understand, madam.
Understand, right? Okay, thank
Assam.
you.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, here don't understand Single.
Can understand singing. Okay, thank you. Now, because some of them they requested, that's what I am explaining in single also, because I feel, but it's unfair for those who didn't understand single. That's what I double check. Because some people they requested, right? Now the planning means where, so initiation stage, first we are going to decide whether we will start as a new project or whether we will be continuing as a next stage of the existing project. That is number one. Number two is what? Planning. Planning means sense. Planning means we are going to plan resources. We are going to plan timing. We are going to plan technology. We are going to plan human resource. We are going to plan what is the required information. We are going to plan the communication. All those things we are going to plan. Right? Now after that, we are going to execute. Execute means we are going to conduct this project. We call that as a execution. Next one is what? Monitoring and controlling. What do you mean by monitoring and controlling? Monitoring and controlling means Futa, we are going to monitor this project and also we are going to control this project. We are going to monitor this project and we are going to control this project. How we are going to monitor? We are going to make sure whether the things are happening as per the plan way. අපි plan කරපු විදියටද දේවල් වෙන්නේ කියන එක තමයි අපි monitoring කියලා mechanism එකකින් අදහස් වෙන්නේ. Controlling. What do you mean by controlling? Controlling mechanism, it's telling if things are not happening as per the plan way, we are going to control. Control means what? We are going to implement the controls. We are going to make the budget controls. We are going to make the time control. We are going to make the resource control. Likewise, we are going to make several controls. We call that as a monitoring and control mechanism. Next one is what? Closing down. Closing down means what? Project is going to close down. How it is going to be closed down? Project is going to close down means now the project is over. You are going to finalize the project and hand it over to the client and you are going to give some project feedback. You are going to give some reports. You are going to hand over the project. Sometimes you are going to sell the project. That is also at the stage of closing down. Right? සමහර projects මොකද කරන්නේ? ඔය හදන project එක විකුණනවා. සමහර projects ඔය හදලා ඉවරලා launching එක කරනවා. දැන් phone එකක් වගේ iPhone 17 recently launched. Now the iPhone 18 one, they are in the process of making this project. දැන් මේ iPhone 18 එක මේ අවස්ථාවේ ඒගොල්ලෝ develop කර ඉන්නේ. එතකොට now if they want to, right, if they want to close down the project, they will stop developing or else they will launch this project, right? So launch this product. That is called what? That is called the closing down the project, right? අපි ඒක closing down කියලා අපිට අදහස් කරන්න පුළුවන්. තේරුණාද? එතකොට now in project management පුතා, very important thing to identify what? Initiation project process. Initiation stage එකේදී ඔයගොල්ලෝ identify කරගන්න ඕනේ මොනවද දන්නවද? පළවෙනි එක තමයි මෙන්න මේ කියන projects. අපිට projects වල තියෙන මොනවද? Objectives. මේ projects වල තියෙන objectives මොනවද? Objectives කියන්නේ මොනවද? මේ projects තුලින් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ මොන වගේ දේවල්? අපි කියනවා objectives කියලා. Next one, identify the stakeholders. What do you mean by stakeholders? Stakeholders means who are the people need to satisfy in this project. මේ project එකෙන් කවුද satisfy කරන්න ප්‍රාර්ථනය? Maybe the client, maybe the customers, maybe the investors, maybe other government bodies. All those people we have to satisfy. Most of the, just assume if you are going to construct a hotel in near Yala Forest, right? Who are the stakeholders for you? If you are going to construct the hotel in Yara Forest, who are the stakeholders for you? The investor who is going to invest in this hotel. The employees who are working in this project. The client who has given work to you. And also the other competitors also watching what is happening to this project. Government also you have to control. Why? They can anytime stop your construction. So you have to manage government also very well. If you didn't manage your government, anytime they can stop your project. That much they are powerful, right? So therefore, when it's come to the project management, always you have to define the objectives. What are the objectives I am going to fulfill in this project? For example, the same example I can say, if I am going to construct a hotel in the near Yara Forest, right? It's an eco-friendly hotel. It should be 50 floors. The 50 floor is one requirement. It should be the environmental healthy. It should be near Yala Forest. Likewise, there are different objectives. I have to define what are the objectives I am going to fulfill. Next one, I want to identify who are the stakeholders I am planning to manage. How are the stakeholders la mama manage karana plan kara. Next one is what? Develop project charter. That means what? We have to identify what are the things I am going to control in this project. How to do this project. What are the steps I have to follow. All those things. When to start this project. When to complete this project. All these things we call that as what? It's a project charter. Right? Now you can see initiation process, project initiation stage, all those things you have to consider very carefully. That is number one. Number two is what? If you go back to here, planning process. When you are going to plan, as I told you, scope planning. Scope means what? You should know what you are supposed to do. We call that as a scope. Then time scheduling. Time scheduling means you have to plan when to start this project, when to complete this project, what are the main activities you have to monitor, all those things, timing you have to place. Cost estimate. Cost estimates basically reflect what are the costs associated with this project. If there are any costs, you have to control that. If there are any costs, you have to plan it properly. Risk planning. What do you mean by risk? Risk is always, if anything goes wrong, we call that as a risk. එක දෙයක් වැරදිට වුණොත් අපි ඒකට කියනවා risk එකක් කියලා. In project management also, we can identify different types of risk. What are the different types of risk available in project management? We can say If the project can be delayed due to, if it is a government project, if there is any government changes, definitely project can be delayed, right? And also, if it is an economic environment changes, the inflations are high, but until the budget approval, the projects will be delayed. Like flood situation, if entire projects goes due to the flood, then project is having a risk. And also COVID situation, we never expect, that is also risk. Likewise, when you are going to plan for next 10 years project, just assume you are going to construct a highway road, right? You don't know what will be happening next 10 years. Even if you look at last 5 years, what happened? COVID was there, economic crisis was there, the inflation was very high, flood was there. So likewise, we never expect these things. But if there are any projects, those who are under construction under last 5 years, all those things they have been met, right? ඒ කියන්නේ මොන හරි project එකක් තිබ්බනම් last 5 years අපි construct කරන all these things they should have been met. So likewise, all those things you have to plan. Risk means if something goes wrong, how you are going to manage those things, we call that as a risk. For example, our life also, there is a risk. What is the risk of our life? If I'm going to die today, that is the risk of my life. So what will be happening to my obligations? Who is going to take care of my kids? Those are the answers given by the insurance companies. If you go back to the insurance companies advertisements, you can see most of the insurance companies advertisements are promoting negativity of the life. They are always showing if this happened to your life, who is going to take care of your siblings? If this is going to be happen, who is going to earn your income? Likewise, always they are promoting risk of the life. And also not only life, if you talk about the vehicle insurance industry also, before you put your vehicle into the road, you have to have an insurance policy. If it is a leasing vehicle, definitely you should have to have a full insurance. If it is not leasing, you should have to have a third party insurance. Likewise, there are some policies governing the risk of the life, risk of the some of the assets also, right? So have you seen some of the clothing shops? They are going to face fire situation. For them also, they are, before they start their business, they have to have a fire protection. So likewise, all those things you have to plan when you are going to planning your projects. Understood? Right. තේරෙනවනේ පුතා? මම ටිකක් හයියෙන් කරා ඔයගලන්ට තේරෙනවද නේද? මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද? මම හිතුවා පුතා ඉන්ටර්වල් නොදී අපි දිගටම කරන් යමුනේ. What do you think පුතා? Is it good or not good? Shall we continue without
It's good,
interval?
madam. Shall we do like that? Shall we
Okay.
continue?
Right, thank you. Now the execution stage, we are going to start our project. That means we know, okay, this project is this kind of project. Then we know what are the things we have planned. Now it's time to start your project, implementing your project plan. And also in this stage, you have to manage your team. Project team is coming from different background. You have to manage them very well as you have to make sure you will be achieving project objectives as well, right? At the same time, when you're going to execute your project, you have to maintain the quality assurance as well. What do you mean by quality assurance? Quality assurance always reflect if what is the quality you want to get in your end results. For example, I want to have a high-tech project, high-tech hotel construction in one particular area. Just as you, then if it is a high tech, definitely I have to use German or Japanese technology. If I use the Chinese technology, that is not high tech. Always, if it is a technology, high-ended technology, Japan is number one. Therefore, the quality I have to maintain. There are some projects they mention, I don't want to maintain the quality. I have to make this for just for 5 years only. Therefore, you can use some Chinese or Indian materials to develop this construction. Why? Because the quality is not too high. The quality is not to give something very high level. Quality is to give something what is the expectation quality level. right? ඒ කියන්නේ අපි quality එක වැඩිම විදියට මේ හදන්නේ. අපි quality කියලා කියන්නේ අපි client හරි අපේ investor හරි expect කරන quality එකට අපේ භාණ්ඩ ලබා දෙන එක තමයි අපි කියන්නේ මොනවා කියලාද? quality කියලා. Understood? Right. Next one is පුතා monitoring and controlling stage. As I told you, on this stage, we have decided, okay, what are the things we have to do, how to do, all those things we have decided, right? Now, monitoring and controlling stage means certain stages we have to monitor our project. Just assume our project is happening for next 10 years, right? We have to monitor the things each 10 years. Hammer out to the sorry, each 2 years. If you keep a benchmark, if you keep a baselines, that means to monitor the project, what are the time frame? You are going to mention, okay, each 2 years you will be monitoring your project, right? So if something not going good, you can have a corrective actions very soon. We call that as the monitoring and controlling stage. Right? You can track the progress, you can control the cost, and then you can manage the risk. For example, if the project is 10 years, if you identify after completion of 5 years, 75% of your cost is, you have spent 75% of the total investment. Then what happened? You have balanced 25% to spend for another 5 years. So it's not enough. So you have to manage your budget properly. You have to rebudget. You have to you have to ask some strategies to manage those conditions. So that is what the controlling and monitoring is too much important, because without controlling and monitoring, we can't understand where we are going. Now you can understand when we are going, before we sit for our O-level examinations, usually we are having what? Usually we are having a term test. What do you mean by term test? Each term you have to face for an exam. So that is a kind of monitoring and controlling. In these examinations, what you are going to do? You are going to monitor and you are going to control what would be your exam marks. If the exam marks are good, then you can predict the final exam also will be good. If the exam marks are not good, then you can predict the examinations are not going to go good. Likewise, you can identify certain things. Monitoring and control stage, you are going to manage your risk as well. Risk management means you are going to identify what are the risks you will be facing and what are the strategies to manage those risks. We call that as a risk management. Clear? Right. Then next one is what? As I told you, closing down the project. Closing down project means now you know you have completed your project. So it's time to inform to your client that you have completed your project. In this way, you have to hand over your project, or else you have to complete your project, right? So we call that as a closing down stage of your project, right? Now, likewise, you can identify what are the things you are going to do in closing down stage. I have seen in my experience, most of the project, when it's come to the closing down stage, some people, they used to prepare some kind of books. Why they want to prepare some kind of books? Then with these books, they make sure that they have done what? That they have done a good job. Good job means what? They have done during their project, they have done these areas. This is how they have covered. These are the areas they didn't cover. These are the things they want. Likewise, they are planning to prepare one particular book, right? We call that as what? Project handing over book, right? So likewise, some projects, when they close down, what people are doing, they are going to do presentations. They're going to ask people to come here and they will be presenting certain things when it's come to the closing down stage. Likewise, they are going to do different types of mechanisms when it's come to the project closing down stage. Right? Please write down. So I told you, formally you accept that you have closed down the project. You have completed this project. Next one, you are going to develop your final reports. Finally, reports you are going to develop, and also lessons learned. Lessons learned means what? You are going to list down what are the lessons you have learned during this project period. That is also under closing down stage. Next one is what? Project integration management. What do you mean by project integration management? Project integration management means you are going to coordinate all elements of your project. Right, as I told you, project communication management, project scope management, project time management, project cost management. These things are happening independently. But when it's come to the final project, we have to manage all those things, and also you have to prepare a final end results. We call this as integration. Integration means coordinate all project elements, and also you have to make sure that you ensure the alignment of all these activities, all these places. We call that as a project integration management. Please write down. Project integration management means you are going to make sure that all the project elements you have been fulfilling, you have been accumulating.
పాట ఇదాక పైన నాలుగు ఇది సార్
Sorry, Buddha? Can't understand. Please repeat it again. මට තේරුන්නේ නැහැ පුතා. ඔයා අපිටද කිව්වේ? No problem. If any questions, please ask. I'm happy to support you. Now, project integration management, you are going to integrate everything, and you are going to make sure that the project is having end results. You are going to achieve the project objectives. For example, you can identify some of the projects that you are going to do cost management separately. You are going to do human resource management separately. No, that won't work. You have to integrate all these functions and work together to achieve the common objectives. Now, the organizations also like that. No, you can't get the right skills at the low rate. Always, when you are getting any kind of high skilled people, what is their nature of their job? They are very expensive. Oh, ගන්නවා high skill කට්ටිය. High skill කියන්නේ කවුද? High skill කියන්නේ ගන්නවා if you are taking a very skillful people, they are always what? They are always expensive, right? So you can't expect something. You can't expect the cheap. You can't expect low cost with high quality. If you are going to go with the high quality, definitely you have to expect what? The cost is high. Therefore, cost and the quality management, it's really difficult to manage. If you are going to increase the cost, the quality will be high. If you are going to reduce the cost, the quality will be lower. Likewise, there are some certain drawbacks when it's come to the working also. So likewise, integration is most important thing. You have to manage it very well to achieve the project objectives. We call that as a project integration. Project integration කියලා කියන්නේ ඔයා project එකේ objectives manage කරන්න ඕනේ. අපේ final objectives project එකේ different functions. You have to manage project different functions to achieve the project objectives. We call that as a project integration management. Clear? Any questions you want to ask? Oh, all clear. Any of you? Right. Now, next one is Puta, project integration management. As I told you, how to integrate project. When we are going to do project integration, you have to integrate certain things. What are the things you have to integrate? Basically, you have to integrate the project charter. Project charter reflect when to start the project, when to complete, what resources to take, who are the client, who are the people making this project. All these things are integrated in project charter, right? That is there. Next, project management plan. You have to identify your project management plan as well. What is your project management plan? That is also most important thing. And direct and manage work. You have to direct your work as well as you have to manage your work well. Then monitor and control your work. You have to monitor your work and also you have to control your project work. Then integrate change control. Changes you have to integrate and control and close down your project. Those things also you have to manage it very well. Right? All these things we call that as what? Project integration management process. Project integration management, there are certain things you have to consider. So out of that, these things are very much important. Right? Next is what? Next, 5 steps. When it's come to the project, you have to manage these 5 steps. What are the 5 steps you have to manage? 5 steps project. 5 steps process, initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling and closing down. These 5 stages you have to manage very well, right? And integration, you have to ensure success you can integrate, you can manage with project integration. That is also most important thing. Next one. Initiation, you can say campus. Development of the campus, you can identify with the initiation, right? You are going to take approval from different parties and stakeholder identification. All those things you are going to do, right? So that is initiation. Next one, planning. Planning always you can say cases, event management, budget planning. Then you can plan scheduling speakers and risk planning. All those things you can plan properly. We call that as a planning your project, right? You can say when it's come to the event planning, event management, they plan everything. Event management also one of the project, right? Until they complete this event, they consider this as what? They consider this as their project, right? That is also most important. Next one is what? Execution. Execution means what? Execution means you are going to make sure that you are going to implement this project. You are going to do this project. We call this as execution. Execution means basically you are going to conduct this project. We call that as execution. Example, construction projects. What you are going to do? You are going to execute this. Execute means you are going to start this, right? You are going to start and you are working. One of the example is construction projects. Next one, hiring staff, purchase materials, then what else? And daily operations, we call that as execution of these projects, right? Next one is what? Monitoring and controlling. What do you mean by monitoring and controlling? You are going to monitor the project and you are going to control your projects. We call that as a monitoring and controlling. Example, case IT system implementation. You track the system and you correct the delays. All those things you are doing. We call that as a monitoring and controlling. Please write down. Closing example. Closing down the project, you can say marketing campaigns, final reports, and client acceptance. All those things we can identify. It is you are going to close down your project. Right. You have to coordinate all these project activities and ensure the alignment of these activities. Coordinate project activities and you have to ensure alignment of these activities. Right? You have to avoid project conflicts. Conflicts means what? You have to make sure project won't happen any kind of conflicts. Conflicts means what? Conflicts means basically without any issues. You have to manage your projects. We call that as managing projects without any conflicts. Integration, case study management, hotel renovation project, and cost, and also increase the managed by the schedule adjustments. We call that as a integration. Cost increased, managed by the schedule arrangement. If there is any cost increments, you have to manage those things by the arranging the schedules. Right? Those also there. ERP system implementation. That is also one of the project we can identify. We can manage that. And if there is any changes, we can implement. Right? ERP system implementation. Next one is what? Integrate change control. Another one we can identify as a change in project scope. If there is any changes in the project scope, that is also we can manage very well, right? Approval by the project committee. You can get necessary approval by your project committee also. If there is any changes, you can get the necessary approval by your project committee. That is also very much needed thing. And education project. Education project also very much important. What do you mean by education project? Education project means you are going to make sure that your project, you are going to study something. We call that as education. That is also we can consider as a project. How we can consider education as a project? We can identify you have a specific starting date. You have specific ending date. You have specific resources, right? All those, using all those things you are going to do in this project. We call that as a but. Education project also we can consider as a project study. Next one, example, university approves the project to implement the learning management system. Character defined, project objectives are there, budgets are there, project management authorities are available. Right? Next one. ERP implementation, you can always identify what? Manufacturing company implement your ERP system, integration management control, charter define clear business case, and also you can identify integrated plan, align IT, finance and HR, and also change request, manage to avoid the confusions, and also project completed on time with the control changes. That means implementing ERP system. That means what? You are going to introduce new ERP system. That is also we can consider as what? We can consider as a special project, right? So, the next one, hotel renovation project. When it's come to the, if you are going to renovate your hotel, that is also we can consider as a special project. Hotel renovation project. That means we are going to renovate. Renovate means we are going to do new things, new additions to the hotel. We call that as a hotel renovation. That is also we can identify. Event management project. What do you mean by event management? Event management also we can identify. We are going to manage events. We can identify that also as a project. We are going to manage events. We can identify that also one of the project, right? So you can identify in project management, integration management and process group. Integration management, you are going to focus coordination and control and project life cycle. Responsibility, project manager and the project team you have responsibility, and the change handling, centralized and distributed project handling options are available, right? So that is about the project integration management, right? So all those things, can you make a, I will give you a, I will ask you to give me, decide and tell me one of the famous project you would like to start. ඔයා ආස project එකක් කියන්න බලන්න start කරන්න. ඔයා කතා කරන්න ආස project එකක් මොකද්ද පුතා? අපි කතා කරොත් මේක එක්කෙනාගේ Azam, any project you would like to start or would like to suggest? මොකක් හරි project එකක් තියෙනවද ඔයා ආස? එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔයා suggest කරන්න කැමති? Any of you?
In Saudi Arabia, I've been on construction project. It's called Daria project. It's a government project. So still now I'm at the project. So I handling that.
Okay, thank you, Azam. Now, for your feedback, next one is what? Satira. Satira, what do you mean by project Satira? As per your understanding, what is the project you would like to continue? Yes, Satira? Any project you would like to continue? Or you suggest us any of the project? Yes, Satira? Hiruni? Yes, Hiruni. Any project you would like to suggest us? Yes, Hiruni. Any project you would like to suggest us? Any project. Now we know what do you mean by project. Project can be anything, even your examination also project, right? ඔයාගේ examination එක or project එකක්. කොහොමද examination එක or project එකක් වෙන්නේ? Project එකක් වෙන්නේ, you know starting date of the examination. You know ending date of the examination. You know what are the activities you have to do to complete your examination. What are the activities? You have to study, you have to do group discussions, you have to do past papers, you have to do certain things to do this project, right? Likewise, there is also project. Next one is what? Then even it's a house construction. Maybe you are going to construct your house. That is also we can identify it as a project. Why? When you are going to construct the house, that is also you very well know what is the starting date of the project. What is the ending date of the project? How to manage the resources? How to what are the activities involved in this project, right? Who are the resources you have to take to this project, right? Examples ඔයගලන්ට කතා කරන්නේ ඔයගලන්ට කියන්න projects is not only the constructions project. It can be what? It can be any of the things. Any of the things you can identify it as what? Any of the things, Futa, we can identify it as what? As a project, right? So Hiruni, as per your understanding, ඔයා කියන බලන්න පුතා what example එකක් project එකක්. Anyone? Hiruni? Yes, Hiruni. Now, as Azam said, thank you, Azam, for your valuable feedback. What is project as per your understanding? Yes, Hiruni. As per your understanding, project means what? Yes? Anyone? What is project as per your understanding? What do you mean by project? Okay, no problem. Then if you go back to the Praveen. Yes, Praveen, any project can you suggest?
Hotel management for a project, ma'am.
Can you please explain it, Puta?
Because nowadays Sri Lanka, when we see its fast-moving site, that hotel management, it is very, they are giving very important things for that because tourism are our expand the tourism also expand, so the lot of tourism are coming here. So I think that is better side.
Yes, very good. That means Praveen is talking about the tour management. For example, if I'm a foreigner, I would like to visit Sri Lanka, right? So I know, okay, these days I will be visiting. So from this day, from the day I arrive to Sri Lanka, from that day, if I'm going back to my particular hometown, so what is happening, right? So, what are the plans, right? Where to go? What are the hotels to stay? Likewise, you have to know those things. We call that as what? We call that as that is also project. Until I go to my home country in very safe, I can identify all other things what I'm doing. We can identify it as what? Those things are we can identify it as projects. Understood? So projects can be anything. It is not only one particular single thing. It can be anything which we are going to do to achieve certain service or to achieve, produce certain product or produce certain process, and also we can identify to make something, right? For example, in my life, I am facing one of the examination. Why? Because I want to get a result sheet, right? That is the achievement. Until I complete that, I consider this as what? This is my project, right? If I why I'm doing my job, maybe I want to earn certain amount of money. I want to buy a vehicle, I want to buy a land, I want to construct my house, I want to buy gold, I want to take care of my parents. Likewise, you have the certain commitments. Based on that, you are going to do your career. When you are doing your career, so this is also you can identify what as a project. Right. You know, you will be work for 10 years. Out of these 10 years, you have to fulfill these types of expenses. What are the expenses you are going to fulfill in your lifetime? For example, you can fulfill operational expenses. Operational means what, Puta? You are going to eat daily. Daily you eat and you do everything. You call that as a daily operations. After that, eat, then food, transport, and bills, all those things we can call that as a operations. Next one is what? Investments. What do you mean by investments? Investments means you invest something today to achieve a good achieve things in future. For example, you can say you are going to invest some amount of money today, right? To achieve some amount of money, to save some amount of money in future. Maybe you save money in stock market. That is the investment, right? Next one is what? Financing. What do you mean by financing? Financing means basically you want to get something. Maybe you want to get a vehicle, you want to buy a house, all those things you are going to find money. We call that as what? We call that as a finance. Finance is basically reflect you want to get something, to get that thing, how you are going to fund the money. We call that as a financing, right? In this financing also, you have lot of things to learn. So here, what is the objectives of doing a job is to make sure that you are going to achieve these kind of things, right? Please write down in your notebook. If you want, you can write down. So likewise, anything you can tell as a project. It's not only one thing. So project integration is to, you have to consider all these aspects. Why? What are the aspects? Cost management, human resource management, quality management, everything. And you want to achieve project objectives. We call that as a project integration management. Anything you want to clarify, Buddha? All clear. I hope everything is clear. Right. Now I think because my area there will be a power cut today. That's what I have done very fast and we have completed the syllabus for today. Any questions you want to ask? All clear. Any questions you want? Any questions you want to ask? All clear. Any of you? Okay. Since no questions, right? If you go back to the Azam, Satira, Hiruni, any questions you want to ask, Puta? All clear. If there is no questions, then we can wind up the class now and we can meet on our next day. Right?
Oh, ma'am, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good night.